Welcome to 24/7 Updates, your daily source for global events and breaking stories. Manila, Philippines. The headlines boasted of a new era, a turning point for the nation. News outlets flashed bold numbers and triumphant statements, painting a picture of progress and prosperity on the horizon. 500,000 barrels a day. That's the figure that echoed across the country, a record-breaking surge in oil production that was supposed to change everything. For the first time in history, the Philippines hit a milestone in oil output, sparking government claims of energy independence and self-sufficiency. Officials spoke of a brighter future, where the country would no longer be at the mercy of foreign suppliers. But on the streets, this so-called victory felt hollow and distant. The reality for ordinary Filipinos was far removed from the government's triumphant narrative. Jeepney drivers, the lifeblood of Manila's public transport, struggled to afford fuel as prices continued to climb. Families at local markets watched their budgets shrink, forced to make tough choices as the cost of basic goods soared. Rolling blackouts became a grim routine, plunging neighborhoods into darkness night after night. Soaring electricity costs defined daily life, not prosperity or comfort. President Marcos Jr.'s promises of reform and relief rang increasingly empty as the crisis deepened. Protests grew louder, with citizens demanding real solutions, not just words. Despite record-breaking production, most Filipinos saw no benefit, only higher bills, more anxiety, and a growing sense of frustration. The supposed oil windfall never trickled down to those who needed it most. The oil boom became little more than political theater, a spectacle masking a broken system. Lawmakers debated endlessly, but real change remained elusive. Complex ownership structures and lucrative export deals meant that much of this newfound oil wealth was shipped overseas, with little of it reaching local consumers or easing domestic shortages. The celebration was reserved for the elite, business tycoons and politicians, while ordinary people were left out, watching from the sidelines as inequality deepened. We sit atop vast energy wealth, yet millions of Filipinos still suffer from energy poverty. In rural homes, children study by candlelight, their futures dimmed by a lack of access to reliable power. For millions, the much-publicized production milestone is meaningless, a symbol of unfulfilled promises and dreams deferred. The gap between what's promised and what's delivered grows wider every day. The numbers look impressive on paper, but the reality is stark. A nation still waiting for relief, still struggling to turn its natural wealth into real progress for its people. Until that changes, the oil boom remains just another headline, one that offers hope, but delivers little. The Philippines is a nation blessed with abundant oil and gas reserves, both on land and beneath our surrounding seas. These resources, if harnessed, could fuel our industries, power our homes, and drive our economy forward for generations to come. Yet despite this natural wealth, nearly all the energy we use is brought in from other countries. Our dependence on imported oil and gas is staggering, shaping the very foundation of our economy and daily life. Every single day we consume an astonishing 425,000 barrels of oil. This massive demand keeps our cities moving and our industries running, but it comes at a steep price. The vast majority of this oil, almost all of it, comes from foreign suppliers. Our energy lifeline stretches across oceans, making us vulnerable to events far beyond our control. This heavy reliance leaves us exposed to sudden global price shocks and the unpredictable tides of foreign politics. When conflicts erupt or prices spike abroad, we feel the impact at home almost immediately. Each year, billions of dollars flow out of our country to pay for imported energy, money that could have been invested in building our own future, creating jobs, and improving our infrastructure. Over 90% of our petroleum is imported, tying our economic fate to distant conflicts, OPEC decisions, and the ever-changing global market. Our prosperity is at the mercy of forces we cannot control. High energy costs ripple through every aspect of life, driving up the prices of food, transportation, and electricity. For ordinary Filipinos, these increases mean tighter budgets and tougher choices every day. Our leaders often speak of the need for energy security and self-sufficiency, but year after year, our policies keep us locked in dependence, with little progress toward real change. The failure to develop our own energy resources is not just a missed opportunity, it is a conscious choice. And it is a choice that comes with a heavy cost, paid by every Filipino family. Our untapped reserves remain locked away, not by lack of potential but by layers of indecision, red tape, and bureaucratic delays that stall progress year after year. We are a nation rich in natural potential, yet poor in execution. The resources are there, waiting to be developed, but the will to act remains elusive. In the end, it is the ordinary people who pay the price, struggling each day to make ends meet, while the promise of our nation's wealth remains just out of reach. The Philippines is not poor, just poorly managed. Despite the vibrant energy of our cities and the resilience of our people, the true wealth of our nation remains largely hidden, waiting to be unlocked. For decades, we have looked outward for solutions, but the answer may lie beneath our very feet, or more accurately, beneath our seas. Beneath our waters lies a fortune. Reed Bank alone could hold over 5 billion barrels of oil and 55 trillion cubic feet of gas. This is not just a statistic, it represents a potential turning point for our country, a resource so vast it could redefine our economic future and elevate millions out of poverty. For comparison, Malampaya powered Luzon for decades with just a fraction of that. The gas extracted from Malampaya has been the lifeblood of our energy grid, fueling industries, lighting homes, and supporting economic growth. Yet what we have tapped so far is only a glimpse of what's possible. Other promising areas include the Sulu Sea, Cagayan Valley, and the Visayan Basin. Each of these regions holds untapped reserves waiting for exploration and development. Imagine the possibilities if we harnessed the full potential of these basins: energy independence, regional development, and a stronger, more resilient economy. The value of these reserves is in the trillions, enough to transform the nation. This wealth could fund schools, hospitals, roads, and technology, creating a ripple effect that benefits every Filipino, from the bustling cities to the most remote provinces. Malampaya has already delivered billions in revenue and powered a third of Luzon. It stands as proof that with the right vision and management, our natural resources can be a force for national progress. The jobs created, the skills developed, and the communities empowered are just the beginning. Reed Bank could multiply that impact, lowering bills and funding national development. Imagine affordable electricity, thriving industries, and a government with the resources to invest in the future. The benefits would reach every Filipino household, making daily life more secure and prosperous. Thousands of jobs, better infrastructure, and real energy security are within reach. New opportunities would open up for engineers, technicians, and skilled workers, while investments in infrastructure would modernize our cities and countryside alike. Our youth could look forward to a future filled with promise and stability, yet these resources remain untapped. The potential is there, but it lies dormant, waiting for decisive action. Every day that passes is a missed opportunity to change the course of our nation's history. The technical challenges are real, but the bigger barriers are political. Disputes over territory, regulatory red tape, and lack of unified vision have stalled progress. It's not just about technology, it's about leadership, cooperation, and the will to move forward. We know where the treasure is, but lack the will to claim it. The maps are drawn, the data is clear, and the world is watching. What we need now is the determination to act in the national interest. Our greatest opportunity is buried by indecision. Every moment spent debating is a moment lost, a chance for progress slipping away. The world will not wait for us to make up our minds. The map is drawn, the prize is clear, the resources are there, waiting to be developed. The only question is whether we have the resolve to pursue them for the good of all Filipinos. What's missing is the courage to act. It's time for bold decisions, for leaders who will put the nation first and seize the opportunities before us. The future belongs to those who dare to dream and to act. Our future waits beneath the waves, if we choose to seize it. The promise of prosperity, security, and national pride is within our grasp. The next chapter of our story is ours to write. Will we rise to the challenge? Look to our neighbors for proof of what's possible. Malaysia, with Petronas, turned its oil wealth into national prosperity and global influence. Brunei built a society with free education and healthcare, all from oil and gas. Indonesia and even distant Norway used their resources to fund growth and stability. They built strong institutions to manage wealth for all citizens. The Philippines, despite similar or greater reserves, remains an outlier, stuck in crisis. While others acted, we argued and hesitated. Our neighbors chose abundance. We chose inaction. The result: imported hardship and lost opportunity. Energy statistics translate into daily hardship for millions. When oil prices rise, so does the cost of living, immediately. Jeepney drivers, farmers, and small businesses all feel the squeeze. The Philippines pays some of the highest electricity rates in Southeast Asia. Blackouts are common, crippling businesses and disrupting lives. Students study by candlelight. Hospitals rely on costly generators. High energy costs make our industries less competitive and drive jobs overseas. Many Filipinos leave home to work abroad because opportunity is stifled at home. The true cost is measured in lost dreams and constant stress. It's the anxiety of paying the next bill, the frustration of wasted time in traffic. We have the resources for prosperity, yet remain trapped by our own inaction. Energy poverty is not just economic, it's a social injustice. Why is our energy wealth still buried? Internal dysfunction and external threats. Endless red tape and political infighting scare off investors and stall progress. Corruption and lack of transparency fuel public distrust and waste opportunity. Meanwhile, China's aggressive claims in the West Philippine Sea block our access to key reserves. Chinese vessels harass our ships, creating a blockade we can't break alone. We're trapped, paralyzed by our own politics and a powerful neighbor's shadow. In 2016, the Philippines won a landmark legal victory at The Hague. The tribunal confirmed Reed Bank is ours, legally and unequivocally. But China rejected the ruling and doubled down on its presence. Our legal rights are clear, but on the water, might still makes right. No investor will risk billions in contested waters. The government can't guarantee security, so our resources remain out of reach. Appeasement failed, stronger stances have yet to yield results. Until we and our allies deter aggression, our victory remains only on paper. With Malampaya running dry, the government is scrambling. New contract rounds and streamlined processes aim to attract investors. LNG import terminals are being built as a stopgap, but they deepen our import dependence. Exploration takes years, time we don't have. Efforts are too slow and too small to solve the crisis. The core problem, access to Reed Bank, remains unresolved. Alliances are being strengthened, but the window for action is closing. Without bold moves, our energy future slips further away. The path to energy independence isn't a mystery. Malaysia showed the way. Petronas unified control, invested in the nation and built prosperity. The Philippines never made such a decisive move. Our fragmented laws and lack of a national champion left us adrift. We relied on half measures and paid the price in mediocrity. The stakes are higher than ever. Without action, we face permanent energy insecurity. Malampaya's depletion without a replacement would be catastrophic. The chance to build a just, prosperous society is slipping away. We must find the will to act, learn from our neighbors, and claim our future. The time for hesitation is over. Our nation's fate depends on it.